You can order the alternator used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Turn your engine off. Set the parking brake. Pull on the hood release handle and open the hood. For safety reasons, we advise you to disconnect the battery. To do so, we recommend watching the video, How to Replace the Honda Civic Car Battery. In order to remove the alternator, you need to remove the serpentine belt from the alternator pulley. We recommend taking a picture or to draw the path of the belt around the different pulleys in order to position it correctly later. Using a 19mm wrench, loosen the belt by turning the serpentine belt tensioner clockwise. Meanwhile, remove the serpentine belt from the alternator pulley. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. If you enjoy this video and want to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, back to work. Using a flathead screwdriver, unclip the electrical harness located on the alternator. Remove the rubber protection from the positive terminal. Using a ratchet and a 10mm socket, unscrew the nut holding the positive terminal of the alternator. Remove the rubber protection. Then, disconnect the electrical connector by pressing the tab with a flathead screwdriver. Disconnect the power cables located on the alternator. Next, using a ratchet and a 10mm socket, unscrew the bolt holding the electrical sheath support to the alternator. Finish unscrewing by hand. Using a fork, remove the two clips holding the wiring harness to the alternator. Then, using a ratchet and a 12mm socket, unscrew the hard-to-reach lower alternator retaining bolt. Unscrew the upper retaining bolt using the same tools. You can now remove the alternator by sliding it forward. You will need to pry it out with a big flathead screwdriver or a small crowbar. Using a 10mm socket, unscrew the 4 bolts holding the 3 metal brackets on the alternator. You can order the alternator used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Start by putting the 3 metal brackets back onto the alternator. Take the new alternator. Put it back into its slot. Then screw the upper bolt back in roughly by hand. Then screw the lower bolt back in until it makes contact. Finish the tightening of the bolts with a torque wrench. Reclip the electrical harness. Replace the positive terminal. Then screw the nut back on. Put the rubber protection back on. For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now. Plug the electrical connector back in. Screw the electrical sheath support back onto the alternator. Reclip the electrical harness. You can now put the serpentine belt back in place. Pay careful attention to which way you use it. The writing on the belt must turn clockwise. Slide the new belt around the different elements, respecting the layout from the initial assembly. To fully put it back in place, lift the serpentine belt tensioner in order to wind the serpentine belt onto all of the pulleys. Then, release the belt tensioner to fully extend the belt. Reconnect the battery. Operation complete.
Quality parts, priced right.